Also, just because his name was brought up, how is Wings doing? I haven't heard anything in a while. Is he okay? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I never know until Kyle tells me.
No. What you want to do, you just search his name on YouTube, and the top 3 videos will let you know his current situation. And I think it's mostly fighting off, just basic stuff. It's the child porn charges,
Right,
so he's dealing, and then also, his account's being taken from him by mean people on the internet.
He was afraid of an investigation, right? Because people were saying about the CP thing.
Well, yeah, I guess he had jokingly said that he had some at one point, and so they're like, well, we'll just tell your local sheriff that you've got it, and they'll come get it. And he's like, well, don't do that.
Poor guy.
He's just trying to do his thing over there. All jokes aside, I have no idea what's going on over there. I try not to keep up.
Yeah.
The last time I was really interested was when he had crazy drama with his wife, and I thought that the Newlywed Game on here would be the best, would be a top 5 PKA all-time segment.
I heard you say that, and as someone who watches the show, I also think that would be a fantastic idea. I think that would be hilarious.
You sequester them, one leaves the room, and he comes back and Wings. When you get a sponsor, maybe, or I'll come out of my goddamn pocket for $100, because they're not gonna get any of them right.
Whoa! Pick these up, everybody. I'm pocket for $100.
We start out at 100. We build.
Hey,
we build.
You know what? Just to see Wings on here, I'll match that.
You act like Wings, dude, you act like Wings runs one of those streams where they're dropping 100 level 3 subs on it.
I don't mean to flex, but I'll match that 1 to 5. For every 100 Kyle puts in, I'll take 20.
Dude, I'll match that 1 to 5 with impressions.
Wings, you heard it here. Let Wings know.
$220 right now.
And 400. You all matched my 100
Wings,
per question.
that's cash money, man. That's cash money. That's $220. What can you do with that in 2023?
Per question they get right.
Honestly,
okay, if that's per question, that's a lot.
This will add up to 20.
I know, which made the whole bit upsetting.
Look, I'll say this. I'll say this right now. Hold on. I'll say this right now. Hand on the Bible. Hand on the Bible right now.
All right.
If Wings comes on PKA for a Newlywed, whatever, I will put up money for a game show.
Oh, wow. What a statement.
For him. No. Because it would.
How much?
How
much money?
How much do you think it would take?
100 a question?
So he doesn't do, he doesn't work like that. You could tell him, you could offer him $10,000 or a job that paid $100 an hour, and he'd take the cash. Okay, all right. So tell him $100 a question. He'll never bite on that. You have to offer him a flat fee. You have to. It has to be an either or. You have to be an either or. You have to say to him, look,
man, $100 an hour, but for 10,000, all at once.
Do you think he would do it for 1,000
to clear that?
Do you think he'd do it for 1,000?
I would like to think that they would come on if we said, look, the lowest you can make is 1,000, and if you get enough questions to be above 1,000, that'll cap out at 1,500. But you guys have to play the Newlywed Game, and I'm not going to explain the goddamn Newlywed Game. Basically, it tests how well a couple know each other with fun questions that I'd write.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, it would the kind of questions they do on the show are
exactly. We wouldn't do anything unfair.
Favorite music, and so you would just have to trust that Kyle and I would write fair questions.
Right, yeah.
We all write questions and then select.
We ask Wings
privately.
How does so and so let you know when she's in the mood? Like that would be the kind of questions that you would ask.
You know what? I would add as a funny one. I'd be like, how would your wife solve this geometric equation? And then it's well, fuck. I don't know.
Pi over
you missed that one. Sorry.
He's who
would your wife say was the president or the king of France in the year 800?
How would your wife spell nostalgia?
We just make it so difficult.
I also realize now that I said all that out loud that possibly may have not should have said that live because people may use that as something to harass Wings with in hindsight. I do not mean it in that way. If he wishes to, I would be happy to put up the money as someone who watches the show to see him come on for that.
I'm sure we could raise
very
up a
forward-thinking of
ton
you
of
to
money
Yes.
for a little
Wings is a good
pay-per-view
person.
show,
Don't harass him.
for a little
Don't
pay-per-view
harass
show
him.
that I'll be putting on called Married Life with Wings. So you guys think of yourself as investors at this point.
No,
And
you know what? You
and
know
what
what
I like, and an FPS production.
Well, we need
FPS
like
production.
we need
This is
like
what
a
I'm always
catchy
saying
name.
about oh, that would be easy. But
How about like birds of a feather?
Whale Wars.
And it's both of them like leaning back against
no,
each
it's already
other.
taken. Dang.
Whore Wars?
Evil.
What?
Whale
What'd you
Wars.
s- Whale Wars? That's a good one.
Evil.
already got that one up.
Kyle is being evil right now.
I would love to have this.
My
Love to have
600-pound
Wings do
lives.
this show.
But
And I'm also not saying I have to be a part of it. I'm not saying like I expect to be on or anything. I will just be silent and put up the cash. I need
I
to
think
see him
people are
on the
always
show.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
were
Yeah. I'll
shocked
be the
at
executive producer.
Okay.
I think people were shocked at first, like how interested people would be in YouTube boxing. But I think everybody's sleeping on just how interesting it would be to see a 22-minute episode of the Newlywed Game with those two playing for sponsors' money.
We need
And
music.